Recognized for your hard work and dedication. One of the things that I've said actually to a lot of our men and women in uniform, whether it's the police department, whether it's corrections, whether it's fire, whether it's the sheriff's office, the men and women who put their lives on the line. The men and women who, when you walk out the door in the morning, your family does not get the benefit that other families get of knowing whether you will come back or not. Every day you walk into danger. Every day that you put on the uniform. And I've said this before, you know, I grew up in a military family. And I often tell people that when my dad, he did 2 tours in Vietnam. When he did those 2 tours in Vietnam, we were living in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. But when he went overseas, he always took us back to his mother's house in Massachusetts. He didn't want us to live on base. And the reason he didn't want us to live on base was because there was always bad news, and he wanted to insulate his family. That stuck in my mind as a young child. You don't get to do that for your family. You don't get to insulate them. They still worry when you walk out there. And so what we here today are celebrating and honoring is the hard work that you're doing on behalf of your family and the sacrifices your family is making on behalf of the citizens and residents of Prince George's County. And that is tremendous. And so I am humbled to be able to stand here before you and to participate in this honoring. I want to thank you for your hard work. The union president said that your leadership, and he talked about it. He's absolutely right. Today you're being honored for leadership. The leadership that you've shown and the leadership you will show. Because that example is what's going to inspire the men and women who are under your charge to do and be the best that they are. As you can see from the budget that we sent down to the council and that the council chair who's going to come up after me is dealing with, we're in tough economic times. But the decisions that we made reflect how much we appreciate your work. No, we can't do all we want to do. But where we could make increases, it was in public safety and education. Every time we get any extra dollar, that is where it's going to go. And the commitment that I've made is that our fire department is going to be the first on the list. And we're going to work very hard over these next 4 years to do that because you've sacrificed. You've done a great job, and the reward has been keep doing a great job. I recognize that. So as we build and grow our base, especially our commercial base here in Prince George's County, and get more resources, the fire department is where we're going to be first on the list, because I think you deserve it, and I think this county deserves to have you recognized for that. So as I close, let me just say this. To the chief, I want you to know that we're going to work very hard with you. We're going to do everything we can to support you and the men and women that we're recognizing here today, but the men and women who are out there. And that in these next 4 years, what I hope to see in some real way, that at the end of the 4 years that I'm here as county executive, you'll say, you know what? He actually did keep his commitment. He tried hard. He may not have reached where we wanted to go, but he tried really hard, because that means that you understand how much I respect the work that you're doing. So with that, thank you for letting me be a part of this. Thank you.
First, let me say what an honor and privilege it is when I have the opportunity to notify an individual of a promotion. Since my interim appointment, I have had that privilege 27 times to be able to either face-to-face or on the telephone. In one gentleman's case, who I just happened to look at while he was driving down Interstate 66 illegally talking on his cell phone, notifying them of their promotion. What an honor that is. One of the most sincere recognitions for me of Chief that I never realized before was that overwhelming sense of satisfaction when I hear that from you, when I see that change in your demeanor. I know that it is an honor for you and it's an honor for me to bestow that on the people that I have to command daily. The promotions that you have attained can in many cases and will in many cases change your lives. I want to speak to you briefly for a couple minutes about two really important topics to me. One is about a continual goal of absolute competence. Competence in the performance of our duty. The other is an acknowledgement and acceptance of professional responsibility. Absolute competence is indeed a rare commodity in this day and age. As new promotees at any rank, as you've heard others say, and I'll say again, you are the next leaders of our department. In the abstract, I define leadership as the ability to make people do things they didn't know they wanted to do and go places they didn't know they wanted to go. What you and I will achieve as leaders will only be limited by our determination to succeed. Positive leaders that I hope all of you will be will instill in their people a hope for success and a belief in themselves. As positive leaders, you will empower people to accomplish their personal and our organizational goals. We must have absolute confidence in our ability to deliver our core service objective. We must get the job done, and yes, we must return every member home every day. That's exactly what I expect and, in fact, demand out of each of the promotees. And that's why safety first, everyone goes home, that everyone here knows as our department slogan, will remain as our primary goal during my tenure as fire chief. By their very nature, the vast majority of our people come to work prepared with the relevant knowledge to be successful in achieving that competence with respect to our core objective. Regardless, we should not lose focus of our weaknesses, and we need to make sure that we learn from the errors that will undoubtedly happen. After the Our Lady of the Angels school fire in 1958, Percy Bugbee, who was then president of the National Fire Protection Association, put it this way: "There are no new lessons to be learned from this fire, only old lessons that tragically went unheeded. We cannot allow that to happen." That's why we train, that's why we heavily promote continuing education, and that's why we adhere strictly to our general orders. As managers, it is your job, and in fact your duty, and your primary responsibility to do everything within your power to identify the challenges in our system before they lead to errors, before they lead to injuries, and most importantly, before they potentially lead to tragedy. It is your professional responsibility. For those of you attending tonight who have accepted promotions into the line and command officer ranks, I wish to remind you of the things you accepted upon your appointment. You have accepted the challenge to become official emissaries and ambassadors of this department to our workforce and to the citizens we serve. As such, each of you needs to understand and appreciate the importance of your commitment to this organization. First and foremost, your commitment to uphold the honor, traditions, and values of this department. This means you will do your utmost to set the example for integrity, both on and off duty. And you will usher the workforce under your domain to the successful completion of any and all tasks that you are assigned by a supervisor within the chain of command or that you assign to your subordinates. To those recognized, I challenge each of you not only to lead with integrity and vigor, but to also seek out and mentor others within our ranks, whom you feel both desire and merit that advancement. You form the front line of our efforts to achieve our goals, and much of what this department will be able to attain in the future is sure to be amplified through your efforts and determination to encourage all who seek advancement. To all of you, I say congratulations on your promotions. I am confident that each of you will honor the values and traditions of this department with your service. Lastly, on the promotion issue, I wish to express my thanks and appreciation once again to the families of the promotees. All too often, we drill away at the day's business and fail to recognize the personal sacrifice that you make every day. For the promotees, I'll leave you with this final thought. It's a quote with special meaning to those within the Fire and Emergency Medical Service, witnessed in the words of Thomas Huxley. The rung of a ladder was never meant to rest upon, but only to hold one's foot long enough to enable them to put the other foot somewhat higher. Tonight, we're also going to recognize a special group of folks that helped us reach an important milestone. Career Recruit School 43, which started on February 28th, was the first class of the Prince George's County Fire EMS recruits to complete the validated process known as the Candidate Physical Ability Test. The CPAT goal was to develop a fair and valid evaluation tool in the selection of firefighters to ensure that all candidates possess the physical ability to complete critical tasks effectively and safely. All candidates were offered the opportunity for 2 orientation sessions, which gave them hands-on familiarity. Once the Prince George's County Fire EMS Department became certified to conduct our own CPAT evaluations, we needed a facility to conduct those evaluations in. Under the leadership of Fire Chief Ray, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department has been extraordinarily gracious to offer their CPAT facility in Millersville for our use. Their hospitality has been immeasurable. As representatives of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department, Deputy Chief Strobel and Division Chief Swindle have demonstrated an exemplary level of professionalism. They've been more than attentive and cooperative in their provision and oversight of the facility. In the highest traditions of the Fire Department's mutual assistance, this opportunity has afforded the Prince George's County Fire and EMS Department the experience and insight that will be necessary for the development of our own CPAT facility that we'll request in the next budget cycle. In our early evaluation of CPAT effectiveness, we have witnessed far fewer early class injuries, a higher level of functional ability, and a significant increase in physical fitness of our recruits. The results and benefits of the CPAT process are obviously apparent. Although I don't believe Chief Swindle was with us tonight, correct? Although Chief Swindle is unable to be with us this evening, Chief Ray and Deputy Chief Strobel are here. I ask them to please come forward to accept a small token of our appreciation for your assistance. Now, I'll read this for you. It's Anne Arundel County Fire Department, Fire Chief John Robert Ray, in grateful appreciation for allowing the Prince George's County Fire EMS Department to utilize your candidate physical ability testing site. This was our initial experience with the nationally recognized CPAT, and your willingness to assist us is a true example of mutual aid. The use of CPAT has provided an immediate benefit in our hiring the most qualified applicants for the position of firefighter medic, and is presented by me March 2011.
Chief, thank you very much. I'll put a plug in for you for your facility. I just want to thank Chief Bashore for this. It's been our pleasure to host their CPAT. It's been a huge benefit to us. We would hope that every fire department at some point is able to do CPAT for their candidates, because it really is a tremendous program that makes sure that you're getting people that are qualified to do the job. And it does save money in the long run. I will tell you that since we started CPAT and our wellness fitness program, we've reduced our lost time and injuries by over $3 million in the last 2 years. So it has a huge benefit. So good luck, Chief.
Thank you.